Guys, sorry about the audio in the last one. This is the fourth time I've uploaded this video, and did it once and fell asleep because it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and Windows updated my computer and restarted it, so it erased it, and I redid it twice, uploaded it, and did it with no sound. So sorry, thanks for letting me know, and I'm gonna do it the right way this time, hopefully. Let's see here, pull up the fights. Just to let everybody know, Johnny Bedford and Gagnon, I can't remember the guy's first name right off the top of my head. Gagnon and Bedford has been scratched, which would have been a good fight. I was really looking forward to it, but that fight has been scratched due to visa issues. So I'm going to start at the bottom this time. I'm going to take Chris Camozzi over Dustin Jacoby. This whole card is filled with it's crazy. Really, these last few cards have been just the craziest cards, not only to pick for some reason, but for different reasons themselves, but also they've been crazy. They've turned out crazy. All these first round finishes and awesome fights. I think Joel Silva's doing about the best job he's done in years right now. I really have to give that guy credit on all these matches he's putting together. This card here is filled with mediocre versus mediocre fighters, except for the 3 main event fights, and really just 2 of them are, you know, real big name guys. But still, every fight on this card, you know, I'm not complaining, because I think every fight on this card has the potential to be a good fight. Because even though it's a lot of mid-level, mediocre guys, they all match up well. And like 3 or 4 of these fights, it's almost like a guy looking in the mirror as far as what they show on paper and what they bring to the table as fighters. Almost right down to a T. Some of these fights, like Roop and Swanson, and let's see here, Beltran and Lavar Johnson, even Einemo and Russow, and Dunham and Lentz. These guys are like almost looking in the mirror when they look at each other as far as fighters. It's crazy. It's crazy card to pick, but I'm going to go with Camozzi over Jacoby, which I've, you know, not 100% on really any of these picks. Like I said, I think most of these fights, 8 out of 10 of these fights, at least 6 out of 10 of them could go either way, without a doubt. But I'm going to go with Camozzi over Jacoby. I'm going to go with Roller over Johnson. Definitely Oliveira over Wisely. I think that's the biggest mismatch on this card. Now, this is crazy because I don't think I've ever picked George Roop to win in my life. Never been a fan of George Roop. But it's going to take Cub Swanson fighting him for me to pick him to win. It's kind of like MMA analyst said about old Bisping. It's going to take him fighting Chael Sonnen for him to want Bisping to win, even though he didn't pick him. It's going to take Cub Swanson fighting George Roop for me to pick him to win. I'm not a fan of Cub Swanson as far as, I mean, you know, I have respect for any fighter, especially a guy with the many fights as Swanson. And he is a dangerous opponent, but I don't think that he's, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Cub Swanson, let's put it like that. He comes out to bang and to fight. I think George Roop will catch him with those long, lanky arms and TKOing. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I'm thinking 2nd round, but this is one of those fights on the card that could definitely end in a number of ways for either guy. So. Moving on to the next fight, Joey Beltran rolling out the welcome mat for Lavar Johnson. Lavar Johnson If you've never seen him fight, he is kind of a slow, methodical fighter that is good. I would call it good stand-up. He's got his own style. He doesn't throw punches and bunches so much. He just, when he touches you, you don't want to go down. It's kind of like Shane Carwin or somebody, but not that style, but power-wise, compared to like Carwin or Lesnar, punch-wise, Lavar Johnson packs a punch. But I think he's going to get outworked by Joey Beltran. I think it's Joey Beltran. Every time you see Joey Beltran fight, Johnson will have to knock him out for me to think that he can knock him out, because Beltran has got a chin of steel and can probably stand and just trade with anybody in the UFC for 3 to 5 rounds, because really probably a little bit underrated stand-up, because, well, he's just not afraid to he takes punches to land, takes them to give him, and he doesn't mind it, and that's not always good. It's not always good. Sometimes it works for him quite a bit, but I don't know. I was really impressed with Joey Beltran when I watched him fight Matt Mitrione in Indianapolis. It was probably about the best fight I've watched. One of the best fights I've seen live. It was pretty good, man. Pretty damn good. So anyways, Beltran over Johnson, to be clear. And then I threw this next one around a lot too. But I just got to go with Mike Russow over Einemo. And I think for me to make that pick, my reasoning is the speed and the takedowns ability of Russow. Really is probably just as good as Einemo on the feet. Einemo's not scared to stand and bang, and this is a dude basically like Joey Beltran too. If he'll stand and trade punches with somebody for 5 rounds, doesn't care. Punch him in the face 200 times, he could give a shit less. So I don't know, but I think Russow, if Russow feels that Einemo's got the better of him in the stand-up, he could definitely get a takedown. Einemo is good at using his strikings to get takedowns, and is a good grappler and submission guy for a heavyweight. Real good. For a heavyweight. That's not saying real good compared to top level guys, because you don't have a lot of submission guys at heavyweight in MMA. But I think that's what Russow will do. I think he's going to go for the takedown before Einemo does. I think if Einemo gets the takedown, Russow can get back up. Russow's a guy that stays in shape for the most part. He carries a little bit of a gut sometimes. His last fight he looked out of shape to me. I shouldn't say he stays in shape, but he's a full-time cop in Chicago, and trains full-time as a fighter. So I think, anyways, Einemo gets him down, he can probably get back up. He's strong enough, and I'm gonna go with Russow to get a takedown and get Einemo's back at some point and get a ground and pound TKO, or late in the 3rd round, or most likely what I probably see happen is some type of some type of decision, most likely unanimous. Evan Dunham, I'm going to take over Nik Lentz, and only really kind of cautiously, to be honest. I think Evan Dunham will be a heavy favorite in it, most likely, but when you look at these guys on paper, they're very extremely similar, and really similar records as well, as far as who they fought. But I also saw Evan Dunham fight there in Indianapolis, and I don't care what any judge said, he beat Sean Shirk, and most people who've seen that fight will say he beat Sean Shirk, and that should at least be a no contest. It's just not right for all this bad judging calls over these last couple of years to be scarring these guys' records. That's a win that any fighter in the world would want to have on their record over Sean Shirk, and he did that, and he's not going to get the credit for it. Shirk knew he lost that fight. I'm not going to go on about it. Anyways, Evan Dunham over Nik Lentz because I think he can stuff Lentz's takedowns basically the same, basically similar to what Russow and Einemo. I think that if Dunham goes down, he can get back up, and I think that Lentz will have a hell of a hard time taking him down. So that's that. And not to mention, Dunham is real good on the feet, and I think can definitely outstrike Nik Lentz. So that's what I see happening. And I suppose I'll probably say like I don't know, probably a decision in this one too. I don't think we're going to see as many first round finishes on this card. Man, this next one is difficult to pick. I figured Demian Maia will be a heavy favorite, and I'm going to go with Demian Maia only because of the fact that I do think he should be able to pull out some kind of submission within 3 5-minute rounds on Weidman. Obviously, Weidman's going to try to hold him down, wrestle him around. He'll probably try to go for submissions on Maia because Weidman's underrated submission guy himself. He's beat and went the distance with some of the better guys in the world in grappling and submission grappling. You know, Weidman is a guy that definitely stays in shape and is ready on the drop of a dime. Fought Alessio Sakara on 2 weeks' notice, and I think if he would fight Demian Maia the way he did Sakara, then Demian Maia would definitely submit him with an armbar or a triangle choke at some point off of his back for sure. We'll see what happens. Chael Sonnen over Michael Bisping by ground and pound, and I'm not even going to go into much detail on that fight. Just is what it is. Maybe even a late 3rd round submission. I think Bisping will take a hell of a fucking beating. And let's not count Bisping out. He's got a lot of good takedown defense and good striking if he can stuff takedowns. So if you're going with Bisping in that fight, I wouldn't tell you you're crazy. I would tell you you're crazy if you went with anybody, if you disagreed with me on anybody on this card, except for I don't see Eric Wisely winning over Charles Oliveira. But okay, Sonnen over Bisping, and then Rashad Evans over Phil Davis. I think by just about whatever the hell he wants to do. I hate to say that because I would like to see Phil Davis whoop his ass, but I don't. If Rashad comes in with the fight like he did with Machida, or not on his game, and Phil Davis comes in with his best A game and brings the fight, does what he needs to do. I don't know, man. I think Phil's got, he's fighting Rashad Evans, so he's obviously not underrated in the UFC's eyes. He's I don't know why Rashad would get a title fight and not Phil if they win. They say Rashad will get a title fight, but I don't know if they act like Phil Davis won't. I wouldn't know why not. That'd be the dumbest thing I ever heard. So, I figure whoever wins this fight gets a title shot. I'm going to go with Rashad Evans. I think he can do a lot of things in this fight, and I could sit and yam about it all day, but I don't want to go over my 15 minutes. So, just sorry about the no audio, guys, and don't catch the weigh-ins tonight. They're on live, like right about now, 7, 8 o'clock, so you probably have to catch a replay if you haven't seen them. And have a good time tomorrow night. I'll probably do a post-fight video tomorrow. Have a good night. Been last way with Kimbo White.